Because it's not like a real burp. So I don't feel it like a burp's coming.
Also, the way I just was like, Welcome back to another YouTube video. This week we're reacting to some incels on Twitter.
And if you have lived under a rock, then you might not know.
Yeah.
But if you don't live under a rock, you know the viral tweet that's been going around. And it's the phase where you slowly start hating your girlfriend is crazy.
Yeah, so this guy basically put this tweet out, and the responses from other men kind of just snowballed after that.
It's 106.1 million views.
Yeah, which is a lot considering I feel like Twitter right now is like not everybody's go-to app.
I think it's for boys.
I think it's for this type of boy.
Yeah.
This, Reddit,
Sports
and then
boys.
YouTube Shorts. If you ever get a video on YouTube Shorts that pops off, it's all just horrible incel men like this commenting on it. I found that out the hard way.
Honestly, like Emily doesn't have a Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't actively use my Twitter. I just somehow still have it. So this is the first time we're going to see a couple of the comments. We're not going to fully go through it, but we kind of want to like read some and then give our actual take on it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So, when she doesn't want to leave your house after inviting herself.
And then it's a photo of Donald Trump's mugshot.
When she says good morning and you just start feeling nauseous.
Yeah. So if you can't tell, the common thread here is the hatred of the girlfriends. And these guys are all giving examples of times they feel like they hate their girlfriends and what kind of sparks that hatred. So apparently, like, saying good morning
is too much.
Too much.
Too much. When you receive her text, it's like a debt order.
Yeah.
Y'all be wondering why your day is going so well and her battery's dead.
So the not communicating with him is what made his day good. The thing about all of these, I feel like we're good on reading them. I don't care to hear anymore. The thing about all of these, the common thread in all of this, and I will say this until I am blue in the face, is like these type of men are A, immature, and B, extremely insecure, so they are never going to break up with you. They are going to make you as miserable as possible to force the burden onto you to break up with them, unless they've already moved on to another girl, and then they'll break up with you. And then they'll do the same thing to the next girl, and on and on and on. This is obviously not all men, okay? Whatever. I always have to say that because people hate when I fucking generalize. But this is this type of man who's insecure with himself, who feels that he's owed a girlfriend just for like existing. And that's kind of another thing.
I feel like that's also a man who's never been humbled in his life by a female. Like,
well, he probably has, but he doesn't accredit that to anything that he's done wrong.
Exactly. But it's never like registered in his brain that he has a problem or he is a problem or his actions are a problem or his words are a problem. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's also like everyone knows this type of man.
Yeah, but I think the scary thing about it is to see that it's a lot more men than you think, because of how many people like resonated with this like statement on the internet. I think it kind of goes back to the like boomer style humor of like, I hate my wife, my nagging wife. We've been together for 20 years and I like love to be away from her. But it's like, then divorce her.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And that narrative has been passed on to like younger generations.
Yeah, it's almost like you're supposed to not like your significant other when like, personally, I grew up in a family and have like seen relationships where it's like you're supposed to literally like that's what should be like your ride or die. That should be your best fucking friend. That should be the person you want to tell every good bad thing that's happened in your life that day. But I feel like like that narrative is like they're supposed to be annoying. They're not supposed. It doesn't matter. Like it's just somebody you married and you're fucking stuck with them.
Yeah.
So like if you hate them, it's fine. Doesn't matter.
And that's like such like a boomer take from guys specifically. I think women like complain out of a place of just like venting, and men complain out of a place of like at the expense of their wife. Like, they will joke in front of other people too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, the old broad, you know, ball and chains, making me do this, and this.
If
and, like,
I
in front
ever-
of their own wife too. Like,
if
that-
I ever
at her
have a husband, and because even a part of it's like when like guys go to work and then they're like saying it out behind her back, but then like, but that's the same guy that like in front of her is like, I'm begging her to move in. Like, you're the one who's begging me to move in with you, but then like you flip the narrative in front of your boys, and it's like, oh, she just wants to move in and like she wants to get an apartment. It's like, well, no, like I guarantee you sit in her bed crying at night because like that's what you want.
Well, yeah, and it kind of goes back to this other thing that I wrote down, and it's like this idea that like women can live happy and fulfilling lives without men, and it's often seen, like, I mean, statistically it's proven that men's lives get better with a partner and women's get worse on like majority.
There's studies about
yeah,
it.
and so I think this is also further proof that like men would rather claim to be miserable and hate their partner than just be single and do all of these tasks that they like force their partner to do: sex, keeping the house clean, cooking for them, doing all these things. And it's almost like they get some sort of gratification out of like this type of language towards their partner. It's very abusive.
No, but I also feel like this comes back to like, we've talked about this so many times within like our like podcast and the YouTube channel and all that kind of stuff of like it being more like they settled for that person. Because I feel like if you didn't settle for that person, like, because because your boys are all in relationships, just because your boys are getting married doesn't mean you have to get in a relationship or marry anybody. Like, and I feel like those are the people who like have relationships like this. It's like it was all forced from literally day one,
right? Well,
to like have to like each other.
Yeah, and also like for men, that has been the kind of gold standard of success, right? It's like, I have this job, I provide for my family, I have a wife and I have kids. You know, I feel like all guys would have that if they could, even if it makes them miserable, because outwardly to the rest of the world, they're successful. Whereas women, we're okay with kind of just being the crazy cat lady, whatever.
Yeah.
And also, that's just like the funniest thing, like, to poke fun at women for, because as a man you're saying that like you are replaceable by a literal animal. You know what I mean?
And I do.
So it's not like a bad thing on us. If anything, it makes them look bad, because it's like I could literally replace you with a fucking feline that doesn't talk.
No, because
you know what I mean?
Because Leo loves me and cuddles with me and like is excited when I come home and like whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like all those like little comfort factors is like,
yeah. So I think we've said a lot about like from the guy's side, but I do want to like say a few things towards like the girl in the relationship and like signs of this being your partner. And so if you have ever felt like your partner's pulling away, or like they aren't the same person that they were when you first met them, the sad part is they've always been that person. They were, you know, putting on this facade to get you to this place, and now they're just showing their true colors, and there is nothing that you can do as the girl or as the other person in the relationship to make them love you the way that they used to. So it's not your job. And I think a lot of girls feel that, especially young girls, because I was in the same boat, feel the pressure of like, I must help him and fix him and do all of these things for him because he's my partner. But it's like, he's not even giving you the bare fucking minimum, and you're willing to do X, Y, and Z. It's not worth it. Walk away, because at the end of the day, you are the only one who's going to get hurt. And even if he does the least, you walk away and he's back and he's like, I realized I was wrong, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Do not get back with him, because that's just going to give him further ammunition to assure himself that he can literally be horrible, and all he has to say is that he's going to change for you to take him back. And so that's like some tough love that I want to put out there.
But I also feel like, because it's like a therapy answer, that it's like it's okay, because like if you go back to that person, don't think you're stupid, don't think you're dumb. Like, first of all, we've all done it.
Yeah,
and
but it's never worked.
No. And will we all probably do it again?
Yeah.
Yes, we probably will, because that's just how life is. But also, like, it's okay, because coming out of something like that is like toxic and traumatizing and all of those things that like
that becomes
you
your normal
now have become so glued to it, that person and that like normalcy of it, that it's like it's really hard to get out of it. So don't think because like you went back or you took him back after he said he would change, that like you're less than or like, oh, I fucked
Well,
up
it's
or
not
anything
your
else.
fault.
Like nothing like that. Like
Yeah.
it's just life. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, never get back with him because that's just not real.
Yeah.
Like you're going to.
Yeah. But I will say, like, you cannot change somebody.
Yeah.
And that is also a sign of immaturity on your end. And so I would recommend, like, if you find yourself in this cycle with these same shitty people over and over and over, and you're like, well, why does this keep happening to me? It's not your fault, number one. But number two, I think that is a prime time to take a moment and step back and, like, enjoy you, love you, and figure out what you actually want instead of trying to help everybody else out. Because, like, you are not Jesus Christ. You are not God. It is not your job to make people happy, to turn water into wine.
Yeah.
This guy's a whiny fucking baby bitch. He's always going to be like that no matter how much you wipe his ass and spoon feed him and hold his hand through life. He's still going to be a fucking baby. You know what I mean? The last thing I wanted to do is talk about, like, some celebrities examples of this, because the most famous one right now that we see this example of, like, men hating their wives would be Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber. Like, publicly, he humiliates her time and time again. And when the internet comes after her, he's never once stood up for her. And it's so sad to see her go through this because, like, she's expressed multiple times, like, the effect that, like, these trolls on the internet and everything have on her own mental health. And he doesn't do anything. But then meanwhile, when Frank Ocean gets heat for performing at Coachella and being shitty, he comes to his defense like that.
Even the way that he, like, dressed for her, like, last road launch, and he, like, came in, like, a clown outfit. Yeah. Like, there's no other, like, clown. Yeah, and she looks like a whole snack.
And he just embarrasses her time and time again, and it doesn't matter how beautiful, and this is also another thing, it doesn't matter how beautiful of a woman you are, how successful you are, how connected you are, and how well you've done for your own career, and how great of a guy this other person is with money and whatever. Shitty men exist in all financial brackets and in all popularity, and, like, this is literally just, like, the whole world is witnessing it, and people are, like, still not taking her side because it's him. And so, like, if there's anything you can learn from that relationship, is that it's really bad, and that she is also a victim of this, like, settling. Even though it's Justin Bieber,
but,
she's still settling.
And outside of, like, them, because I think people have, like, massive opinions about, like, Hailey Bieber and, like, that whole situation. But I mean, like, even Khloe Kardashian, like, Tristan Thomas, like, I'm watching, like, the Kardashians right now, and it's like, even though, like, I think that she is doing great with, like, the boundary of, like, okay, like, we have kids together, like, we have to be in each other's lives, but, like, I don't know. I think the extent of, like, allowing him to, like, come back in and, like, live in your home and, like, take care of, like, his family is crazy. You have to have a crazy heart to be able to, like, do that and separate it. But, like,
but also her own family not setting the boundary and still kikiing it with him and hanging out with him. Oh, he's a great guy. He's just a bad boyfriend. It's like, it doesn't matter. He hates your sister.
Yeah.
And he did it on TV, and he did it in front of everybody,
and
he
now
still doesn't care.
He did it on the day that your daughter was born.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about one more example, and this is kind of less in your face of it being so obvious, but, like, in the Travis Scott documentary, there's a moment where Stormy's born, and within 5 minutes he leaves, goes outside and smokes weed in the car, and is, like, calling his boys and, like, talking. And that is just such evidence to me that he's, like, just having a baby with you because he can. He's just with you because he can. It has nothing to do with, like, how much he loves you, because if he loved you, he wouldn't do that.
No, I literally...
And that pissed me off. And then to come back into a hospital room reeking of marijuana because you just hotboxed your car. It doesn't matter how rich or how... She's a billionaire, you guys. Men suck. Like, these type of men suck. And so, like, you could be the, like, most literally highest wealthy status woman ever, and, like, shitty men will still find a way. So, no, like, it is definitely not your fault.
I was at the gym the other day, and this woman was probably, like, a good, like, 7 or 8 months pregnant, and she was, like, lifting, and her husband was there, like, picking up all the weights, doing all the things, moving all the benches. Like, he was, like, super attentive, and, like, he was also there to work out, and, like, she was completely ruining his workout. Don't get me wrong, but he was, like...
It wasn't about him.
It wasn't about him.
Right.
Like, he was so happy to be there for her, and I was, like... I literally was like, I was stretching, and I was like, this is so cute. This is so cute. Like, the fact that he, like, you could just tell like he like was like obsessed with her, and it was like that's what every woman wants.
Well,
so,
and that's what every person deserves. Like it doesn't like just because like maybe you've had difficulties in your life, like whatever, it doesn't mean like I think Trisha Paytas is such a great example of this. Is like she was a very broken person.
Yeah,
and once she realized her worth, even at like this broken state and like all of these bridges that she's burned, she still was like, I'm worth more than these people I'm aligning myself with.
Yeah.
A person at her standard came into her life. So like that's why it's like, don't let anybody make you feel like you're asking for too much and like you're deserving of everything. And so this sucks. Get off Twitter. But also, I think it's important that women see this and realize, like, it's a lot of men. And you're not crazy for thinking your boyfriend is, like, pulling away or, like, doing X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But also, like, don't settle. Stay single. It's fun as fuck.
Also, I will say, too, in this regard, don't take everything that you see on social media about relationships so literally. Like, of course, these are great examples, and it's, like, things that should be, like, brought to your attention. But also, like...
This is very clickbait
content. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is very clickbaity content.
Like, is it rage bait?
Like, it... Just because you see it, like, there's so many, like... people on TikTok specifically that are like not even just about this topic, but that are like, this is how like a relationship should be, or this is how like you should talk to somebody, or like all these like advices from everybody. And if you are like, oh my god, my relationship doesn't align to this 100%, like it's okay. I feel like that's like a huge thing that like people don't talk about a lot, is like also the negative side of relationships, or like all different types of relationships are like, it has to be perfect or it's not, or you don't need it. And it's like, life isn't perfect.
Right.
So.
But if your boyfriend's abusive like this.
Yeah. There's like also a line. There's a line. But I'm saying like, I feel like some people take stuff on there so literally that it's like, I don't know. You have to like pick and choose, but you like want to consume. Yeah. When it comes to shit like this. But anyway, find your worth. Know your worth. You're not crazy.
You're not crazy, and men hate women. That's just point blank period. Misogyny, patriarchy. Watch the Barbie movie.
Yeah, the Barbie movie is a great example. Anyway, thank you guys for watching another one of our YouTube videos. We'll see you guys on Friday for the video version of the podcast. Okay, bye.
Bye.